I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Buizel. Weasels, slender carnivorous mammals, are common on almost every continent on Earth. They are accomplished hunters, but perhaps because of the way they contort their flexible bodies away from danger, weasel has become an insult for humans. Someone is described as weaselly if they are cowardly and deceitful. In Japan, where the orange, fox-like Japanese weasel is a common sight in mountain forests or along riverbanks, weasels are called itachi and associated with a number of myths. Like the Western parlance, a weasel is considered a slippery escapist, but the animal is also said to possess magical powers, similar to those of the more famous kitsune, the Japanese fox yokai. Shape-shifting, living for centuries, and generally being somewhat of a nuisance. Near the riverbeds of Sinnoh, Buizel is a common sight. With a similar orange colour to the real-life Japanese weasel, this Pokemon is a water type, and flotation sacs and fins make it a much better swimmer. Pokemon Diamond tells us, "It has a flotation sac that is like an inflatable collar. It floats on water with its head out." These flotation sacs are the source of the name Buizel, combining the animal weasel with a boy, or a buoy as I sometimes hear it pronounced in America. The name is the same in English and Japanese. Famously, the kitsune in Japanese folklore is said to grow an extra tail for every 100 years it lives, eventually becoming the legendarily powerful nine-tailed fox. This weasel also has an extra tail, and just as Sonic's best friend uses two tails to fly, so Buizel uses them to swim. Pokemon Pearl tells us, "It swims by rotating its two tails like a screw. When it dives, its flotation sac collapses." And Legends Arceus told us, "It moves freely in the water by spinning its forked tail for propulsion. The resemblance to the screw of a steamboat is coincidental." Buizel appears early in a playthrough of the 4th generation games, and its water type makes it a good addition to teams which didn't start with Piplup. I do find it a little excessive that both this and Bidoof are common water type mammals, and as I generally do start with a Piplup, I don't often have a Buizel on my team. I did catch a fair number of Buizel in the recent Pokemon Legends Arceus, though not as many as friend of the show Andrew Rice. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Does Andy Remember Gen 4 Pokemon?
And does he have any thoughts about them if he does?
Buizel.
Buizel evolves into Floatzel. They're very common in the water region, the bit by the river, in Pokemon Arceus. See, you're right, this does work, isn't it? It was like a little bit of research that I did. I just remember it using like water jet or something. It kind of rushes towards the enemy with its water attack because it's a speedy little bullet.
Did you do that quest where you had to
you had to find the big one? Yeah, I did that quest. My goodness, that is the most infuriating quest I've done in a long time.
I got very lucky
because
I think I found one pretty quick.
Oh, mate, I honestly caught about 100 of them. It was terrible. I don't know what it is, but it seems that I have quite bad luck when it comes to RNG in games. And it doesn't make any sense, because it is RNG, and therefore it's totally unpredictable. But, oh, mate, like, I'm still, like, scarred by the original Nier trying to grind to get that platinum, and just items just straight up would not drop for me.
I can explain exactly what this is, and you've just explained it yourself. You are a negative person, so you remember your bad luck in these things, and not when they go well. It's as simple as that, mate.
Probably true.
It's confirmation bias, and you think you have bad luck.
But other people have also pointed out my bad luck to me, so I don't know.
You definitely have bad luck vibes.
Yeah, just a big rain cloud coming to join the fun.
Some regions of Japan have legends about the weasel transforming into another animal, or magical creature, at 100 years of age. Buizel can't do that, as far as I know, but at level 26 it can evolve into Floatzel. Only one branch away from the weasel family are otters, similarly long and slender mammals who spend their lives not just in the beds of rivers, but swimming in the water. Japan has as many stories and myths for otters as it does for weasels, similarly holding shape-shifting powers and performing impish tricks. Some prefectures say otters are wrestling rivals of the kappa, or even that otters grow old and become kappa. Like the kappa and the kitsune, otters in the magical sense lure people to watery graves or imitate monks and beautiful women to get close and do mischief. Floatzel's longer flotation sack resembles a scarf, possibly even a mink scarf, rather macabre when considering how closely minks are related to the weasel and the otter. It also wears it very much like the scarf of a stereotypical Japanese yakuza boss. Floatzel has a marked face and a smirk very reminiscent of a pop culture depiction of a kitsune. But its behaviour is far less villainous than a crime boss or a shape-shifting supernatural killer. In fact, Floatzel is Pokemon's answer to Aquaman, making a habit of saving sailors and swimmers. Pokemon Diamond tells us, "It floats using its well-developed flotation sac. It assists in the rescues of drowning people." And Pearl says, "Its flotation sac developed as a result of pursuing aquatic prey. It can double as a rubber raft." And finally, Pokemon Legends Arceus said, "Has a long, rather splendid flotation sac, which prevents Floatzel from drowning even in stormy seas. One might glimpse this species around fishing hamlets from time to time." And obviously that flotation sac leads to the name Floatzel. As I said earlier, I've not spent nearly as much time with Buizel as I'd have liked, but I've always got time for a Pokemon so connected to Japanese folklore. Add in its animation, which looks just like Brock Lesnar's entrance move in the WWE, and you've got a beast incarnate that I'd love as my client. Music for Luke Loves Pokemon is by Jonathan Crony. Artwork for the show is by Katie Groves. And writing, producing, and editing is all by me, Luke Summerhays. And funding is provided by lovely listeners at patreon.com/podcastiopodcastius. I love it when you guys get in touch. Hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN and let me know your thoughts about our next monsters, Cherubi and Shellos, or share your love for any Pokemon. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are with us, so Sunday, look forward to bonus episodes about the Pokemon of the Paldea region. Also join me Friday and Saturday nights from 8 PM UK time at twitch.tv/LukeLovesPKMN for my streams. And even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Buizel, and remember, I love you too.